This video is taking a look at turn 3 in Strategy and Tactics magazine 52, Oil War, and the scenario that we're playing. Before we get started, I wanted to comment about combat in this game. So as I mentioned before, zones of control are locking, but you're not forced to attack. And when it's your turn, you can leave a zone of control on another turn. So it's a little bit forgiving that way, but you can't retreat through one, you can't supply through one. And in combat, the big numbers that you're seeing on the ground units are their combat factors, as rated by James Dunnigan. And the table used is a differential combat results table. So this is it. It's printed right on the map, and I know you may not see that very well. However, the results are very simple. Attacker retreat, defender retreat, attacker eliminated, defender eliminated, and that is about it. So very simple game to get your mind around. Anyway, I wanted to just add that, and let's take a look at what happens on turn 3 in Oil War. So the American player is receiving several squadrons of naval air reinforcements. And of course, all of the on-map air units rebase at the beginning of the turn, and then the Americans gain 40 air transport points. And interestingly, the coalition still has relatively few units on the board, and some of these units are actually in functioning air bases, so they have to expend very little in the way of supply. So the Americans decide to transport an infantry brigade and 2 squadrons of F-5 fighters to the air base in southern Saudi Arabia. So an American infantry brigade is roughly 2 to 4 infantry battalions with 1 to 2 tank battalions and an artillery battalion. But these are going to land in this air base in southern Saudi Arabia along with 2 squadrons of fighters. The rest of the areas are really not open for more units because of enemy air interdiction. So our air superiority hasn't gone our way yet. There's also still 2 more European Economic Community paratroop brigades. One I think is French and the other is British, and these are being held back as reserves because of their flexibility of being able to land anywhere. So the United States Navy and the Israeli Air Force resume their air superiority missions. These are very important. And the Israeli F-4s strike the Saudi air base in the south central region. And the Iranian F-5 fighter bomber squadron there is wiped out. So that's good news. Then the U.S. Navy's F-4s and F-14s focus on the enemy aircraft over Bahrain. There's another Iranian infantry squadron of F-5s that are neutralized. What you're seeing in this picture is 2 more naval squadrons attacking a Saudi BAC-167 Strike Masters, and you can see they have a very low rating. They're 2-2. They're basically training aircraft, but Saudi Arabia did deploy these Strike Masters, and as you would expect, they're taken out as the picture shows. Then in the ground combat segment, American paratroopers attack the infantry brigade in Qatar. And you can see that in the picture. The American units are green, and they're on the island in the top right side of the picture. And that unit is deployed in Doha, but after a brief battle, it succumbs to U.S. firepower. And this leaves an air base for American forces there. Then we go to the Arab player turn. This also includes the Iranians, of course, even though they're not Arabs, I recognize that. The air units on this side do return to their bases, and Iran adds a squadron of F-4s to their force, as well as receive a reinforcement of a new mechanized brigade. And then the remaining Iranian and Iraqi Air Force units fly interdiction missions across the American bases in both Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. The Iranian Armored Brigade also launches an assault, as you can see in the picture, against the Israeli paratroopers at the South Central Air Base in Saudi Arabia, and this time the Israelis are overcome and that unit is destroyed. You can see that depicted in this final picture. That brings turn 3 to a conclusion, so I thank you for watching, and if you're interested, stay tuned for turn 4. Have a great day.
Trucking